IBM Bangis. I am IBM Bangis and I remain your host for the show. Now, I've been getting a lot of requests from so many people, especially on Facebook, and I want to use this medium to thank each and every single one of you out there who is reaching out to me on possible topics that you want me to discuss. And one topic actually caught my attention. There was a suggestion from one Mr. Abdullahi Ibrahim, and he wanted me to talk about the correlation between entrepreneurship and the legal system. So today on this episode of The Entrepreneur, we'll be discussing, or let me say, we'll be talking about the rise of the legal entrepreneur. Now, the global financial crisis has brought about a remarkable acceleration in technological advancement that has created, let me say, an environment for the existence of the legal entrepreneur. The former trend of going to law school and then looking for a very good law firm to work for until retirement is now tilting towards going to law school, getting a bit of experience, and then owning your own law firm. The emergence of so many new law firms right now in the system has created a wide gap between what is good and what is available. What is good is very expensive right now to afford, and then what is available might not always serve your legal purpose as you will want it. Although a lot of people out there are of the opinion that more firms in the system is actually very good for the profession, because it creates an environment for healthy competition. But this, among so many other reasons out there, are pushing our contemporary lawyers into become entrepreneurs, whereby they have to learn the art of knowing how to sell themselves to people. Because if they sell themselves well, then they tend to build this very good reputation for themselves, which will bring in more cases for them, which will translate into more success and then more money. Now, legal cases around the world are increasing, but something is increasing even more than legal cases. That's the number of freshers out of law school. The number of freshers out of law school right now is growing at a very, very exponential rate. And that's why so many people in the legal profession, in fact, people are even of the opinion that the profession is somewhat saturated. And that's why so many people in the profession right now, especially freshers, have to work extra hard for them to be able to fend for themselves so that they'll survive in the profession. Now, today on this episode of The Entrepreneur, I have two amazing guests here today with me. I have the person of barrister Sakina Usman, and then I also have the person of barrister Habib Tahir. But I'll be introducing them further after the break, so do stay tuned after the break. So you're welcome back from the break. And just before the break, we were discussing the rise of the legal entrepreneur. And I did mention that the global financial crisis right now has forced people who are in the legal profession to now take up entrepreneurship as another way. And that's why we call them legal entrepreneurs. And today on this episode of The Entrepreneur, I have two amazing guests, like I mentioned. The person of barrister Sakina Usman. You're welcome to The Entrepreneur with Ibm Bangis.
Thank you.
And then I also have to my right the person of Mr. Habib Tahir. You're welcome to The Entrepreneur with Ibm Bangis.
Thank you.
Sorry, I called you Mr. I was supposed to say barrister Habib Tahir, right?
No, Mr. is fine.
Okay, all right, no problem. Okay, so knowing what you guys do, I'm sure I wouldn't say I did justice to that introduction. So I will start with you, let me say barrister Habib. Could you just tell us more about yourself and what you do and what you're into right now at the moment?
Okay. I'm Habib Tahir.
Okay.
I graduated from the prestigious Kogi State University in 2014.
Okay.
And then I proceeded to the Nigerian Law School, Bayelsa, here in Agua campus.
Okay.
I was called to Nigerian Bar in 2016.
Okay.
And since then till date, I have been in active practice.
Okay.
No year has gone by without me making my mark in the legal practice.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, as a Nigerian lawyer, we are qualified to practice in various aspects of law.
Okay.
Unlike other climes where you are called to bar as either a barrister or a solicitor.
Okay.
Here in Nigeria, we do both.
Okay.
That's paperwork
Yes.
and advocacy all together,
Okay.
of which I am into all of that.
Okay.
And over the years, we thank God for where we are so far.
Exactly, exactly. Well, thank you so much for that. So now, Miss Barrister, Barrister Sakina Usman, could you just introduce yourself and introduce yourself to the viewers out there?
Okay, so I'm Sakina Usman,
Okay.
and I'm a legal professional,
Okay.
like you said. Even though I don't know how to qualify my university, if Habib Tahir can call Kogi State a prestigious one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I graduated from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
Okay. So will you call it more prestigious?
No, I'll let the viewers judge
Okay. All right. No problem.
on that. So
Okay.
I graduated university 2010, alhamdulillah, and delayed law school till 2016.
Okay.
And since I've been called to, I've been practicing.
Okay.
And alhamdulillah, we in this part of the world are generalists,
Okay.
so to say, because we're into everything.
Okay.
Advocacy.
You touch different things.
soliciting. Yeah,
Okay.
we do everything.
Okay.
Even though as time goes on, lawyers try to get specialized in some areas, like you see some into criminology
Exactly.
and other aspects.
Okay.
But for we, as for me and Habib Tahir, what we do is we dwell into everything.
Okay.
Property, civil,
Okay. Criminal.
you know, everything our hands can touch.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. So, well, from what you said, you and Habib Tahir, so it's like you guys work together, right?
Yes, we do work together.
How many people have you sent or have you saved from going to jail? Anyone till date?
Well, I think we haven't.
Or is that a discussion
sent-
for another day?
Let's leave it till another.
Okay, all right, no problem. Okay, well, let me start with you, Barrister Habib. So, as a legal professional, what motivated you to get into the legal profession?
So, right from time, I've always stood out for justice.
Okay.
Oppression, it's something I've always been allergic to. I'm still allergic to oppression.
Okay.
When we were much younger, then we had this. I'm not the oldest in my family.
Okay.
I had older ones. But then at some point, we have to stand up when we see or perceive any form of injustice.
Exactly.
Charity, they say, begins at home.
Exactly.
So we started from the house, proceeded to the school, especially in secondary school, bullies. Even though when you speak against bullies, you get bullied yourself.
Exactly.
Yes, but
Definitely,
then
one way or the other.
that did not deter us. And the fact that we are all human beings, we owe fellow human beings service to humanity.
Exactly.
So we had to make our mark by standing in against injustice for
Okay.
whoever is deserving of it. That
Okay.
has been my greatest motivation
Okay.
in this legal profession.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And you know, actually, at the beginning of the show, I did mention that right now people are of the perception that the legal profession is a bit saturated. So I'm going to forward this question to you, Barrister Sakina. Given that there are a lot of, especially freshers out there right now in the legal profession, how do you source for clients?
Okay, so primarily the legal profession is about networking.
Okay.
You see, that's why we take our MBA conferences, very important, every once in a year. So you get your clients by mostly referrals from people. Sometimes we do have walk-in clients,
Okay.
but your major clientele and your best clients, so to say, are your referrals from people.
Exactly. Satisfied customers, right? Or let me
Yes.
say satisfied clients.
Yes,
Okay.
you know, your previous work, like your antecedents, like, it speaks for you,
Okay.
and so you get more people coming.
Exactly.
Whatever you do, I always tell young lawyers, make sure you're honest. Make sure you tell your clients the the pros and the cons before you go in. It's not everything you see you tell people, no, let's go to court, let's go to court. No.
Exactly.
You tell them, okay, this is it. You're at fault here. If you do this, this is what you get. If you don't do this, this is what you get. There are some instances we've come across some people and we've just told them, okay, so this issue doesn't really require much. You just have to apologize to this person, and before you know it, we're done.
Okay.
So you get your clients by being honest. Whatever you do, try to be honest and network.
Exactly.
And before you know it.
Yeah, a satisfied client is the greatest asset in this profession.
Definitely.
Referral is
Definitely.
very key.
Okay, well, when you're saying referral, actually, I'm thinking network marketing. Exactly. Okay, so when you look at, let me say, when you come across lawyers, there's one thing that's common with them. They like to talk about their achievements. Because then, with their achievement, at least people will tend to know whether they're good or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will come to you now, Miss, let me say, Barrister Habib. Sorry, I keep calling you Mr. Don't lock me up after this. Okay, so Barrister Habib, what is your biggest achievement as a legal practitioner till date?
Yeah. In terms of achievement, it's a bit difficult for a lawyer to say, this is my greatest achievement. The achievement is broken down into, let's say, two parts. There's this satisfaction you derive, this fulfillment when you feel you have done something good. And then there's the monetary aspect.
Exactly.
It's also an achievement.
Which is very important.
Which is also very important, yes. So, however, the greatest achievement so far, I cannot particularly pinpoint at one.
Okay.
But then I give you an instance.
A lot of achievements.
Yes, I give you an instance. There was this particular inmate that was jailed at the Kuje prison.
Okay.
His family had even forgotten about him.
Wow.
It was during my service year. My PPA, myself alongside other colleagues, we visited the prison, and then we were informed about a particular person. And we went to him, we spoke to him. He told us, and we took up his case. We took up the case, and we got him released.
Wow.
But then,
Wow,
as part of
great.
the prison, the correctional services policies, the person must be released into the custody of a family member.
Oh, okay.
We took the pains of getting a family member, and when we put a call across to them, they were all surprised. They thought he was dead.
Of course.
He was arrested and imprisoned without the knowledge of any of his family. So, up till now, if I think of that, the tears of joy
right?
that flowed from the eyes of his siblings
Exactly.
are still fulfilling to me.
At least it gives you joy.
It gives me joy.
Exactly.
So
Just
I
thinking
can count
about
that
it.
as one of my greatest achievements.
Of course, definitely.
Then financially, we have been into several businesses that, especially property. Yes, so we cannot rule that out. That financial satisfaction is very important. So we are glad.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good. Well, actually, in the beginning of the episode, I did mention that if you look at it right now, there's this urge for lawyers or people who are in the legal profession to want to be their own boss, to want to own their own law firm. What do you think drives that? And I'll direct this question to you, Barrister Sakina. What is the drive behind that?
Okay, so I think it's only normal for everyone to want to be their own boss.
To call the shots, right?
Yes, you want to be in charge of your time, of your finances, and be able to chill every once in a while. So, but for lawyers, we understand that after law school, you know, even the law school system, the way it's built, it makes you understand that you have to first go through mentorship from senior lawyers who have been in practice for a long time, who can guide you before you even decide to specialize in other aspects. And that's why the law school has the court attachments and the chamber attachments. So it will be reasonable for every lawyer to know that after law school, you just can't open a law firm on your own.
Exactly.
You have to do a pupillage for at least 5 years.
Okay.
Not like there's a stipulated law that says you have to, but it
at least you
helps
should.
you, it guides you.
It gives you the experience that is needed.
The direction. But after then, or before the 5 years, if you feel you're able to and you can't do it, because it's one thing to just open a law firm and just sit down and wait for your clients to work.
Exactly.
Or you go through the required training and understanding for getting people to come to your law firm. So I advise people to do what they need to do, get the experience before setting up a law firm.
Okay.
When you set up a law firm, you know, you want to be able to control time, because as lawyers, we really don't need a physical office to sit in 8 to 5. No, we don't even sit in the offices. Sometimes when we're going to courts, and this is where it has to be with maybe civil cases or criminal cases, and we have to go to court. We have a tradition of getting to court early. We leave home by 7:30.
Wow.
Yeah, we're seated in the court by 8, and that's how our mentor has taught us. In the name of Barrister Ahmed Belgori.
Okay.
He doesn't tolerate going to court late at all. So we're in court by 8. It doesn't matter if the court will not sit or sit. We're there, fit and proper.
Okay.
So when you open your own law firm, you should understand that time is of essence.
Exactly.
And when you're not in court, you're outsourcing for clients. You go to organizations, you go to parastatals, you meet people, you network.
You talk to people,
you
right?
call your clients. It's not only when they have problem that you reach out to them. You reach
Exactly.
out to them on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Some clients want you to keep in touch with them before they remember that, oh, Wadi, there's this will, I like to make an amendment on my
course.
will, you know, and you're not reaching out to your clients. You just want them to call you when there's business. No, we don't do that. You do lunch dates with them. You keep up. Oh, sir, I noticed there's this bridge here, there's this, I think we need to tie up some loose ends. And before you know it, you're good to go. You know, the law profession, it's a business.
Exactly.
Whether we see it as that or not.
Of course
It's a
it
business
is.
because,
Exactly.
like Habib said, you know, when you have job satisfaction, you like what you do, but you have bills to pay at the same time.
Definitely.
You have bills to pay. So
Definitely.
for some who are still working under, you know, your salary is probably not commensurate to what your bills are bringing.
Exactly.
And, you know, lawyers are not being paid well in this part of the world, whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
So that's why you see a lot of lawyers trying to set up their own law firms. But like, we only saturate the environment with law firms here and
Exactly.
there without knowing the core thing we should do.
Okay. All right. Well, talking about saturation and then sourcing for clients, I'm sure sourcing for clients wouldn't be something very easy, right?
It depends on how
Okay.
easy.
Well, especially you as a girl, you know, we have this belief in Northern Nigeria, like you don't go all out. You have some limitations. So as a woman now in the legal profession, was there ever a time that you felt like giving up, and what stopped you?
Wow. There's a lot of time I wanted to give up.
Okay.
You know, I remembered my first year of practice, and I ran into some of my colleagues from Ibm, and he was like, hello, and I said, yeah. I was like, is there something on me that I was looking so? He said, no, Haji, I can't believe you're practicing, but it has to be just CAC. And I said, no. What stops me from practicing? What stops me from litigating?
Exactly.
And he's like, no, don't get me wrong. I'm impressed because, you know, the typical northern Muslim lady is supposed to be reserved.
Reserved, exactly. That's
Who
like the
says
cultural
I'm not
expectation.
reserved? who says I'm not reserved? I am reserved, but then I need to put food on my table.
Exactly.
And I knew what I was walking into the very day I walked into this profession.
Definitely.
So even when we were sourcing for clients, like I went to this government entity, not to mention, and you know, he told me, please find something for these women, something like due diligence, searches in CAC. And I took an objection to that, and I said, sir, don't you have litigation here? He said, we do, but you can't handle it. And I said,
Wow.
well, I was in court of appeal yesterday. And he said, wow. He said, what's the matter? And I told him this. And he said, yes, I was there in court yesterday. And I said, yes, we're doing it. He said, are you for this or you're for that? I said, I'm for the government.
Exactly.
And he was surprised and very, very impressed. He had to call other companies, subsidiaries under them, and said, this is Sakina Usman.
She can do this and she can do this.
I want you to give her this and this. She has surprised me beyond my imagination.
Definitely.
But let her do more of it.
Definitely.
And I told him, okay, so these are the cases we have handled so far. We have done this, we have done this. And he still can't believe I'm from the north.
Exactly.
He said, are you sure? From your parents, maybe. I said, no, sir. And that's the problem. First, I am a Nigerian.
Exactly, before being a northerner.
Yes, and I'm proud to be a woman, and I put it to you, whatever a man can do, yes, we can do it.
Okay, well, that's very debatable.
Yeah. Or you can say later, as Ahmed Isa likes to say.
Exactly. Or you can say whatever a man can do, a woman can do it too. Not a woman can do it better, right, Mr. Habib? Okay, well, that's good. Well, interestingly, you know, if you look at it, actually, people in the legal profession, I'm sure you guys are expected to read a lot, even us as entrepreneurs. So is it only legal books you read, or do you read books outside of the legal profession? I'm directing this question at you, Mr. Habib, and then how have these books helped you?
But as a lawyer, you need to read wide.
Exactly.
You need to know little about everything. Don't know everything about something. Know something about everything.
Exactly.
So we read a wide range of books in the
Okay.
course of this profession. You see, for instance, in matters of litigation, you come across medical cases. For you to be able to prove medical negligence, for instance, you must have known what a medical practitioner ought to have done at a particular time.
Okay.
So we read wide. However, we concentrate more on our legal books. But then there is this life-changing book that I read, and I always recommend it to people.
Okay.
48 Laws of Power.
Wow.
Yes, by Robert Greene.
Okay.
Yes, it's a non-fictional book, not a novel per se.
But something that will guide you through life.
Yes.
Okay.
And interestingly, there are several laws, 48 of them to be precise.
Okay.
If you, there are abridged versions of that book, but it's best you get the complete version.
Okay.
There's this particular law that I don't take for granted.
Okay.
Never outshine your master.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
You take it step by step.
Okay.
And I've applied all the laws, and it's really working for me,
out
and
for
I
you.
recommend it for every other person, not just legal practitioners, but
Okay.
every other person.
Okay.
The book sees life as a political battleground.
Okay.
You
Wow.
may not see it that way, but you have to see it that way to be a successful person.
Exactly. Well, that's good. Well, I'm sure right now at this point, viewers back home will be wondering, especially those people who are not in the legal profession, you know, how lucrative is the legal profession? Now, to be honest with you now, when I look at some of these sons that we have or some of these big lawyers and the lifestyle that they live, I'll be like, wow, what is it about them? Like, where do they get all this money from? You know, the way they spend money is actually very interesting. So how lucrative is the legal profession? And let me forward this question to you, Barrister Sakina.
Okay. So the legal profession is a very lucrative one, I'm telling you.
Okay.
The legal profession is such that you can wake up this morning without a dime on you. All you need is that one good clients.
So you're praying for people to be in trouble?
No, no. You see, and that's the
Even
beauty
the success
about,
of people,
yes.
it's our success.
Okay.
You see, that's the beauty about this profession. When we tell people we are learned, we are different. We are not like the doctors that the doctor can't feed without you going there being ill.
Exactly.
We don't need you to go and commit an offense or fall into a crime. We need you to even progress in life.
Okay.
Take, for instance, a property deal is being brought here. You want to buy a property worth billions of naira. All we're asking for is our 10% legal fees. And what do you think that would be? You can imagine if you're acquiring a property of 9 billion now.
That's like
I'm
900
sleeping
million.
as a millionaire, I'm
Exactly.
telling you. So it's a
exactly.
very lucrative business. And going back to our sons, like you say, you see, there are some people who can't begin to hire lawyers like me and Habib.
Okay.
That's not because they think we can't do well. I want to make excuses for them because I always make excuses for people.
Okay.
But you see, it will not be it won't be true if you assume every lawyer who is fresh from law school does not know what he or she is doing.
Exactly.
Because he or she wouldn't even finish from law school if he does not understand what the legal profession is all about.
Okay.
But there are some people who just believe being a son means you know all. Most of our sons don't do the real work in the legal, in the litigation.
Okay.
They give it to people like us.
For you to do it for them.
Yes, for us to do. They lead when we get to court, but
Okay.
we do all the research and tell them, okay, this is the angle where we're taking. And that's why you see our sons flying private jets.
Exactly.
You see,
You know, and it always keeps me wondering, like, where are
yes,
these
the
guys
election
getting this money
petition.
from? Wow.
That's where the money is. Election petition.
Okay.
And I tell you, by next year, you shall see more sons. You know, we
Okay.
have some new sons now. So be ready to see them in some money.
All right, no problem. Well, because of time right now, we'll have to take a short break. But don't forget, I'm in conversation with Barrister Sakina Usman and Barrister Habib Tahir on the Entrepreneur with IBM Bangis. Stay tuned after the break. Well, you're welcome back from the break, and you're watching The Entrepreneur with IBM Bangis. And just before the break, we were discussing the rise of the legal entrepreneur with Barrister Sakina Usman and Barrister Habib Tahir. So, right now, let me forward this question to you, Barrister Habib Tahir. Now, we all know that being a son is a very great achievement, right? So, what does it take for someone in the legal profession to be a son?
Okay. It's SAN simply stands for Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the highest stage of advocacy,
Okay.
highest feat that can be achieved.
Wow. So it's like just like in politics, we have the president, right?
Yeah,
That's like the
exactly,
highest. That's
something
the
like
peak of it.
That is the highest. And then there is seniority at the bar.
Okay.
Yes, once you are a year older than someone, when you are called to bar 2016, you are older than someone called to bar in 2017.
Okay.
And you have to give him that respect.
So they follow the hierarchy.
It is in that hierarchy.
Okay. Wow.
So an SAN in court is, after the judge, is the most respected person
Okay. Wow.
in the
Wow.
court.
Wow.
Now, it's not a right, it's a privilege
That will be given to you.
that will be given to you. There is this committee, Legal Practitioners Privilege Committee, then pursuant to a particular law, they confer the SAN on you.
Okay.
And now it's not just for everybody.
Okay.
You must have practiced for a particular period of time. I must have recorded success in various court cases.
Okay. Exactly.
For instance, at the High Court, you must have recorded at least 8 cases,
Wow.
at least 6 cases for the Court of Appeal, and at least 3 cases at the Supreme Court
Okay.
for you to be qualified
To be a senior
to be
advocate.
considered.
Okay, to even be considered
Yes,
as a senior
it's
advocate.
not everybody that has made this mark.
Exactly.
Yes, because you need to be fit and proper, both in sound judgment, your relationship with others. Because as one of the requirements, you are expected to forward a list of 10 judges
Okay.
that you have appeared before. They will comment.
Okay.
Now we are aware that there are times where the proceedings in court can really get under your skin, and you will be forced to display anger, some unethical behaviors.
Okay.
So now these judges are to testify as to your good conduct.
Okay.
So you cannot have a tout as an ACN.
Exactly.
And that is why
exactly.
they are most respected.
Okay.
Every lawyer aspires to become an ACN one
Okay.
day.
Wow, well, that's good. Well, because of time, we'll have to call it short, but I will turn back to you now, Barrister Sakina. Now, in 30 seconds, can you just tell us right now, if you're going to advise viewers who are back home who are not yet in the legal profession, but will want to be in the legal profession later on in life, what advice will you have for them that will help them through their path?
Well, I think you need to be sincere with yourself first, what you want in life.
Okay.
Like Habib said from his introduction, he disliked dishonesty and oppression.
Of course.
So if you know what you want, I think for every individual, you set a goal for yourself and you set a date alongside your goals. So you work towards your goal in life and see that if the legal profession is what you want, you should be ready to be all out there, like you said, whether you're a male or a female. It's how you dress is how you're addressed.
Exactly.
Everybody who sees me knows that this is a proper Muslim lady.
Exactly.
And I tell you, no client knowing that you're a lawyer, and I repeat, nobody knowing that you're a lawyer will bring trash to you.
Exactly,
because
definitely.
Because you know your rights. You harass me, you're going to be in trouble.
Definitely.
They won't even dare to do that.
Definitely.
I promise you. So, and you know, the legal profession is such that you have to always be fit and proper. I always tell people, you do not see a lawyer dwelling into things that will soil their names. Even if it will fetch them money.
Okay.
We don't. And if you see a lawyer doing that, you know that that person is doing the path of destruction.
Exactly, definitely.
So, if the legal profession is what you want to come into, you're welcome. The bar is wide for everybody.
And there's so much in store for everybody,
so
right?
Big enough to contain all of
To
us.
accommodate
And
everybody.
it's the largest association, largest bar in West Africa.
In West
Wow.
Africa,
Nigerian
yes.
Bar Association.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you are all welcome.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Barrister Sakina Usman and Barrister Habib Tahir.
Thank you so
It's
much
been
for
lovely
having us.
having you on this show, but because of time, we'll have to call it short. Don't forget, you're watching The Entrepreneur with Ibm Bangis. And you can follow us or reach out to us on our different or various social media handles at ENTR_IBM Bangis. Do have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week. Why do you want to become an investor?
It's an abstract, and I think I would say it's based on our wits or our chances. It's a risk.
First of all, you have to have general understanding of that industry to start with.
Imagine you doing a transaction between Nigeria and China and it delivers within a space. How I got to make that money, the profit on it, I don't know. But you get faced with few challenges and you feel, oh, it's time to give up. Maybe this thing is not for me. It's not for any of us. Consistency, you have to be honesty, you have to.
Business, if you are being honest.
I am Ibm Bangis, and I remain your host for this show. Why do you want to become an investor?
It's an abstract.